Thanks for clicking on Wayne.com for this playoff edition of Inside the Zone. Blake Sebring from the News Sentinel, as always, joining us to talk Komets hockey. Not to throw out the spoiler alert, we're going to be talking a lot about special teams because that's been an issue in this series. Let's start there.
Okay.
Special teams.
Okay.
Komets have given up 3 power play goals.
Yes,
They've
they
all been costly ones.
You know what's fascinating about this, Glenn, is you can see how well coached these teams are. Because what did we talk about before the series with Toledo? They like to go, oh, you weren't here. That's right.
Oh, sorry. I was in Mexico celebrating a
Yeah.
with my wife, Emily. Thank you very much.
Oh, I guess I would have rather been in Mexico, too. Anyway.
As long as you weren't in Mexico with Emily, then that would have been a whole other set of issues.
Hey, I just put her in a book. I don't want to go any further than that. Okay, so anyway, what did we talk about before the series started? We talked about how Toledo, on their power play, likes to set up and move Pat Nagel side to side. They do a lot of cross-crease passes, and they score from down by the goal line a lot. The Komets have taken that away, but Toledo has countered by shooting from up high more, right? Because you got to spread out a little bit to take away those angles, so there's an angle up top, and so far they scored 2 out of their 3 power play goals right there. And then the other one was a deflection in front by A.J. Jinks. So they've countered, the Komets counter, and you can see how well coached these teams are. That you can see the chess match going on.
That's what I was going to say. You can see the strategy playing itself out, chess match style. But as far as power play goes, how do the Komets? You mentioned they've kind of Toledo has changed the way that they approach their power play. How does the Komets penalty kill then change to stop what they're doing? They're 3 for 8 on the power play as Toledo. You're not going to win a lot of games averaging, giving up even 1 power play goal a game in the postseason.
It's hard because they haven't performed that poorly in it. They should have blocked one of the shots. They should have blocked the shot that tied up the game on. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Anyway, they had 2 defensemen next to A.J. Jinks. They should have been able to handle him, okay? It was just a beautiful tip. I mean, he had his stick way out here and just kind of went like that, and then it got it. I mean, it was just an amazing piece of skill. Another power play goal, they should have been able to block it. They had the guy in place. He just missed it, okay? So they're in the right spots. They just got to execute on the penalty kill. I think it's a matter of confidence in a way, if that makes sense, because they haven't had much success or any success against the Toledo power play. So maybe it's a confidence thing that way.
I think I read in your article about how not only have the Komets given up the power play goals in this series to Toledo, but during the regular season, Toledo scored a power play goal in every game against them. That's 8 consecutive games.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that Toledo has scored a power play goal against the Komets.
16 in all.
Yeah, how do you remedy that? I mean, you mentioned it's some of it is luck and some of it is just bang bang stuff.
Again, I think it's something as finite as confidence. I really do. I mean, it's like the Komets on the penalty kill are like, oh boy, here they come. Instead of, they're not quite letting Toledo operate, but they kind of are in a way because they've taken away the sides. They've done a really good job by that. And the way they're doing it is they're blocking up the passing lanes in front of the goal. But then you've got to leave something else open. So I think they'll adjust again. I mean, I'm sure they'll adjust again in Game 3. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there.
Okay, so the series comes back to Fort Wayne.
We haven't talked about the Komets power play.
Well, we haven't talked about the Komets power play. It's 0 for 6 thus far in the series. What do they need to do to remedy that on the other side of special teams?
They are so close. I mean, they could have had 3 or 4 power play goals in this series. They are this close. I mean, I feel bad for Jamie Shaftsman. He's had, they love to run that back post play. And they've run it 3 or 4 times, and it's just been like this wide from the goal going in each time. I mean, there's been 2 or 3 that he's just missed. And, if that happens, everything else opens up for the power play. The power play is actually performing very well except for the goals. They're getting great chances. They're getting good puck movement. Players are moving. They look good. They're about to break out.
So really just a matter of time in your eyes.
It really is.
All right, so the series does shift back for Games 3 and 4. Game 3 Wednesday night, crucial in this series when you're down 0-2. Against a team like Toledo, I don't know that you really want to go down 0-3 against anybody, but especially with Toledo and their home ice advantage and what they've been able to do against the Komets in the past. But you seem to think the Komets are in pretty good position.
I really do. Maybe I need to get more sleep, but we talked before the show about it. I said, you know what, if ever the Komets would come back from 0-3, this might be the series because these two teams are this close. And the Komets are actually playing better overall of the two teams. Toledo's got the wins. They've earned them. Jeff Lerg's been amazing. But it's like the Komets, if they could just break through one, they'd get all this confidence. And that might flip the momentum in the series because they are playing exceptionally well. They are following the game plan well. They're just not scoring. And Jeff Lerg's a big part of that, okay? But he's been spectacular. And there's been, I can't tell you how many pictures I've taken of Komets hitting the post or going this far over the crossbar. They are close. They are really, really close. I think Sean Sedlowski is going to have the game of his life Wednesday night. I still think Garrett Thompson is going to be a big part of this series. You know, what's better for the Komets than a motivated, angry, and carry this team on my back, Sean Sedlowski for Game 3? I mean, wow. Coming at home, that's a great thing to have. I mean, they are so close to just tipping this whole thing over that even being down 2-0, that doesn't really bother me because they're playing so well. And basically, the goals that the Toledo is getting are off of Komets' mistakes. It's game, like Mike Embach says, it's stuff we give them. And I think he's right. I mean, Toledo is an exceptional team that way. They wait for your mistake and then they capitalize. And the Komets have cut way back on those mistakes and they've gotten better game to game. If they keep doing that, I think they're in great shape. I really do. I know I'm nuts too, but I mean, I've seen 27 years of the weirdest things you could possibly see in Komets hockey. And I kind of get the feeling inside that this might be the next one. I know, I'm nuts. I need to go to the bar.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Because to me, I think, you know, you look down 0-2 in this series against a really good Toledo team,
Yeah.
you think, man, they can't go down 0-3. I mean, I hate to use the cliche must win, but it feels like Wednesday is a must win. And you're saying, maybe there's not that much pressure.
It's just these games are so close. I mean, either one of them could have gone either way the whole way through. I mean, from opening face-off all the way to final buzzer or the overtime goal in Game 2. They could have gone either way. The Komets had 40 shots in Game 2 and got 3 goals. I mean, they are so close from just busting out and getting that big boost of confidence. And 3 of the goals that they gave were total Fort Wayne miscues, totally dumb mistakes that they gave away. So, you know, I mean, they're that close. I mean, it's that type of series where things are that close, where 1 or 2 less bad plays a game could make a huge difference. And then, you know, you think about this. The Komets are now 1-7 against the Walleye this year. What happens if they win one? You know, I mean, where does their confidence go from there?
You mentioned Jeff Lerg. I want to talk about the goaltending situation, really on both sides. Patterson. Do you know what his injury status is?
Nope.
Because obviously in Game 7 he had a lower body injury. He gets yanked. You know,
They said it's a high ankle sprain. I guess there's variations of strains on a high ankle sprain, but I mean, the Komets went through that with Pat Nagel and he was out for 3 months.
Right.
You know, I don't know. I mean, the way Lerg's playing, it really doesn't matter.
I was going to say, even if he comes back, if he's not even 100%, I don't know that you pull Lerg the way that he's playing thus far. And then on the flip side, you mentioned Pat Nagel. With Pat, a lot of these goals aren't really his fault.
No.
It seems
I think
like.
he's given up 1 goal in the 7 playoff games he wishes he had back. That's pretty good. I'd take that.
So he's playing pretty well.
He's playing very well.
Is it fairly certain to say that we will not see Garrett Bardis in the playoffs?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think you can say that. I mean,
Really?
I think he could play. I mean, I think Pat is playing exceptionally well. I don't mess with that right now.
Right.
In fact, right now, that's maybe the strongest part of your game as a team.
Really?
Yeah, I really believe that. So why would you mess with that? Unless you don't understand the game and, you know, I mean, and you just want to see the other guy play.
Well, that's what I'm
to let
saying
him
is
play.
like,
You know, I mean,
I doubt Garrett Bardis will.
I'm sure
we'll see him
Garrett
in the
would tell you
postseason.
that too.
Yeah.
You know, I really believe that.
Don't disrupt what he's got going on.
No, I mean, Pat has been amazing. Let's face it, if Pat wasn't dead on, they get blown out 5 or 6 to nothing Saturday night because that first 10 minutes, the Walleye were all over them. I mean, they were, you know, we've talked before about the first 10 minutes of a game, surviving that blitz. That was that blitz. It really was. And Pat was amazing. Yeah, they gave up the goal in the 2-on-1, which was really a 2-on-0. You know, nothing he could do about that one. He made the guy make the move across even and come to the backhand, which nobody likes to go to the backhand today. I mean, he did everything he could have on that, and nobody got back to help. And he kept them in that game for the first 10 minutes again. I don't mess with that at all. I really don't.
So you mentioned the first 10 minutes of the game. What do you need to see on Wednesday night, specifically in those first 10 minutes, that makes you think, okay, this is the Komets are on the horse. They're ready to rock and roll. They're ready to make this a series.
Here's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see them go so all in that they give up odd man rushes right away because they're so fired up and so ready to go that they jump the gun and they get caught in the offensive zone. I don't want to see that because then they're done. Because then you've wasted all that energy and that momentum in the crowd and all that. You can't do that. You just can't. I just want to see them be methodical. I want to see them keep Toledo penned in the zone. Just do what they did in game 2, except score. That's it. And go to the net. You know, they did a great job. I got some pictures where there's like 5, 6 guys battling out in front of Lurg, and all you see is Lurg behind him looking up, trying to think, oh gosh, where's the puck? You know, they were doing the things they needed to do. They were going to the net. They were going for rebounds. They were doing the right things. They just didn't get rewarded for it. I think they will get rewarded Wednesday night.
So your overall theme for this series is keep on keeping on.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm
Stay
really
the course.
like Gary said after the game Saturday. He goes, it's hard to me to talk about. We're down 0-2, but I like the way our team is playing, and he's right. He's exactly right. I mean, they outshot them in both games. They are dictating play essentially, and to do that in Toledo with 8,000 fans there, that's an accomplishment. And they are that close. The Komets got better from game 1 to game 2. If they do it again for game 3, they're fine.
All right. A lot of confidence.
You want me to go in and give the locker room pregame speech?
You should do it.
Yeah,
Fired
no.
up. We'll
But
see
I'm
what
not fired
happens.
up. I'm not fired up. That's the thing. I'm not. This isn't bravado. This isn't.
Calm confidence.
This is what I'm seeing. I mean, this is like I don't have to play. This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing really good things, and I've seen Toledo stick to that same level that they came into the series with. I really respect them, but it's like the Komets can take them. I really see that.
All right. We will see. It happens this week in Fort Wayne for the first 2 times of this week.
And then Saturday
Wednesday and Friday, and then Saturday in Toledo if it gets to that. But a lot of confidence, and we'll see if the Komets can do it this week.
It'd be
Wednesday.
great to see the Jungle have the same atmosphere as Toledo has. I mean, that's like the old Memorial Coliseum. It is so much fun.
I saw that you wrote that, yeah.
It is so much fun. It is just like everybody's into it, even the opposing fans. I mean, it's just such a different style of presenting a game, and it's just so much fun. And it's like you can tell the Toledo fans are stressed out too. That's, I guess, another example of what I'm talking about. You can tell the Toledo fans are nervous about this series.
All right, and it does shift to Fort Wayne. We'll see it game 3 Wednesday night right here in the Summit City. But for this week's edition of Inside the Zone, he's Blake, I'm Glenn, and we'll see you next Monday talking Komets hockey.